Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's February 22nd, 2023. If you watched my last video, I was talking about a product that removes self-adhesive stamps from the paper backing. It's called Goo Gone. I just wanted to show you the finished product. There is the forever stamp that I took off. It's been flattened. It doesn't have any oil residue on it anymore. The one that had a postmark on it, there's the Canadian one, had a cancellation mark on it. It didn't bleed through. Very happy with the product and the end result. So there's no curling in the stamps, no residue, no bleed through. So yeah, I'm gonna rate that one quite high. There is another air freshener that is Orange Citrus that is coming that Kyler has said that he's gonna send to me. So when I get that, I will test that as well and see how they compare. But so far, so good. If you haven't seen the video, you should go back and check it out if you're interested in how to get the backings off your stamps on the self-adhesive stamps. All right, what I want to talk about today, if you've been watching over the last couple of years, I've been going through my father's Unity books. These are the books that he put his older collection of Canadian stamps in, and I showed you from the very first Canadian stamp all the way up till present. Today, we're going to be focusing on the years 2008 and forward for a couple of years. We'll show you what my father has in the collection, what he's missing, and yeah, you can't collect everything, but I think he's got a good representation, and these Unity books are great because even if you don't have the stamp, you can see what it looks like because there's an image of it. So let me get to 2008. So 2008 starts with the Lunar Year of the Rat. These are the two stamps that came out, and my father had the domestic rate one, but not the international rate, other than he did have the souvenir sheet that has both. I think good looking stamps. Then they put out a celebration stamp and some floral ones. You can see that there's two varieties of basically the same stamp, just whether they came in a single book issue or not. Here's the souvenir sheet, which he did not have. You'll see that he doesn't have many of the souvenir sheets. He usually just got the used stamp when it came across. There's Anne of Green Gables. Some of the University Series stamps. Guide dogs. Founding of Quebec. So we've got a bit more of the history stamps in there too. Then you can see these are from the souvenir sheet, but the individual stamps that came out. These are self-portraits that were done by an artist. This one's really cool, the Royal Canadian Mint stamp, 100 years celebration. And you may or may not know, the Royal Canadian Mint in Winnipeg, there's one in Winnipeg and one in Ottawa. One does the coins and one does the bills. And they do currency for many countries all around the world. Produced right here. Canadians in Hollywood. There's a souvenir sheet. There's a souvenir sheet that maybe Basil would like, because he likes bird stamps. And here they are individually. A butterfly. Christmas. Year of the Ox, 2009. I like that souvenir sheet. My father has that one at least. Seeing the gaps in the collection, I now have, after watching and talking with Smokey in Wisconsin, or Snail Mail with Smokey, if you watch his channel, he talks about Hip Stamps as a place that he goes to buy stamps. So it might be a place worthwhile going checking out and see if I can find some of the missing singles that my father has. Maybe even a souvenir sheet or two. But not right now. I don't have the money in the budget right now to do that. But one day, maybe. Black History Month, February. We did have a stamp this month, or this year, come out to celebrate that as well. Some rhododendrons. For all of you that collect floral stamps. There's our lovely little polar bear, Arctic tern. Some horses. Canadian inventions, 5-pin bowling, ringette, lacrosse, basketball. There is controversy over basketball because it was the very first game of basketball took place in the United States, but it was invented by a Canadian, even though he was at American University. So we claim we claim basketball as our own. Recording artist Brian Adams. This stamp here is interesting just because I got a postcard this past week that had the Prince George man on it, and it had this stamp plus the other one that came out. And I've shown this Ukrainian egg in the past. And you see here's the other issue. So rectangle versus the one that is a different shape. There's the 100th anniversary of the Montreal Canadiens. That's my favorite hockey team. There's a souvenir sheet I don't have, but I should get that one for the collector. Same with these ones. My father didn't have any of the singles of these ones, so there's a whole page that needs to be collected. And then the Remembrance Day. And the Christmas sheet. Here's the individual stamps from that Christmas sheet. And then 2010, the Year of the Tiger. And the Queen makes an appearance on a stamp again. It's been a couple of years since she was on it at this point. And then we have flags over historic mills in the country. And continuing the flower series. And there's the souvenir sheet, or what they would look like, of those two series. And then the individuals again. And then the 2010 Winter Olympic Games that took place in Vancouver. At one point in time, we thought we would still be living there because we were living out west when Vancouver won the bid for them, but it didn't work out. We ended up moving home, so we weren't there for the Olympics. But I know the city has changed quite a bit since we've been living there, and it's grown and expanded, and there's lots of new things since I was there last anyways. Some harbor porpoises. Maybe Renee would enjoy that stamp. She loves the aquatic life. Rotary stamp. Once again, stamps that are odd shaped, of large items that are across the country. And a Girl Guides stamp. And then here we have the same type of stamps, except without the odd shape. They've now gone into the traditional rectangle. These ones here are quite large, even though they're kind of the small variety image, but with a larger stamp. And when we talk large stamps, 2010 was the year that the $10 stamp came out with the whale, the largest stamp that Canada's put out. And you can see them in comparison to the bug size stamps that are still in use today if you need small numbers. 2011 is the year of the rabbit. And we're going to go right up until the end of 2011, because that's where this Unity book ends. Now, it doesn't mean that Unity didn't put out pages after 2011. It's just I never bought them for my father after that date. So he went to the collector's edition books after that. So every year Canada puts out a bound volume of all the stamps that it issued during that year. So it was a way too that my father could make sure that he got every stamp. This sunflower is a reissue. If you see this year's support for Ukraine and charity stamp that came out, it is almost identical to that stamp. But here you got a red sunflower and the yellow. And some zodiac signs. And the royal wedding that took place of William and Kate. Recently saw these stamps. They showed up. Snail Mail with Smokey was gifted a couple stamps by someone in Nova Scotia. So those are the stamps. Methods of mail delivery. Imagine doing dog sled as a letter carrier. Art Deco series. So here I can see pages after pages that my father doesn't have them. 2011 must have been a transition year for my father with collecting. We did have the souvenir sheet of that one, and the souvenir sheet of this one. The big potato is actually here in New Brunswick, and the giant lobster as well. And the blueberry. I don't know where this one is. Let's zoom in, see where it says here. A giant squid. Mental health. Gets a chance to be in stamps. And then the Christmas stamps that came out that year, you can see my father's got one of those and one at the bottom, but none of the other ones in the middle. There you have it. There's the Unity series up till 2011. It took 3 binders to get us to this point. That still leaves us with 12 years of stamps that have come out since these binders. And I know probably the pages are still, you could go back and buy them, and you could fill a 4th binder or 5th binder with all the stuff that's come out since. But we're going to be transitioning in the next series away from these into the collector's albums and showing a bit of those. He does have a few of the older ones, but he has every one from 2012 up until 2022 in the collector's series. So we'll be able to have a little bit more detailed, show you how Canada Post has showcased their stamps with the stories. So not only are you going to get a picture and the real stamp, of course, in the book, you're also going to get a story that tells you all about what that stamp is going to be about. So we might be slowing down the video, not going through as many stamps, just so we can appreciate the stories behind some of them as well. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to do it, and hopefully you'll be along for the ride. All right, that's what I've got for today, and help you digest a bit. If you're a stamp enthusiast, hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you're not from Canada and you've never seen some of these stamps before, hopefully it opens your eyes to some of the stamps that are out there, maybe that you can collect and put in your collection if you don't have them already. All right, well, that's it for today. Have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye.